National Independent Beer Run Day. National Independent Beer Run Day.
That would almost be like a Smokey and the Bandit day.
That's what I kept thinking. That would be, yeah, International Beer Run Day. I wonder if it was around the 4th that all of that, right? I guess on the 3rd.
I'm thinking it kind of was.
Plastic Bag Free Day. Plastic Bag Free Day. All right. And Stay Out of the Sun Day. So if you are in the sun, just remember sunscreen breaks every so often and gobs of water, right? So
Well, I'm drinking my water right now. I'm getting ready.
Chugging the water. Get ready. That's right. Just like an athlete, chug that water. All right. And so we are on the 3rd day of July. And hats off to anybody that's got the day off today. Good for you. Gearing up, getting ready for the big 4th. And a lot of people will be celebrating the 4th. So remember, Pekin is the way to come and celebrate. And we do have to mention one of our great sponsors, Billy Martin Store, is going to be the Grand Marshal. Craig and Janice and the whole family is going to be there. And that's exciting. That? I love that so much. And I'm so excited about that. They'll be the Grand Marshal of the parade, which will start at 10 a.m. on the 4th. So there we go.
I'm anxious to see what they're going to be driving.
Yeah.
You know what would be, I don't know if it's still around and you got to ride in it, but the whirly car.
Oh, yes. Mr. Martin had.
Wouldn't that be a cool Grand Marshal car?
Well, I know Craig has ridden in that before. So,
okay.
But also I said it would be really cool if there was if some way we could put them on a washer and dryer. Would that not be a grand entrance, right?
That sounds like Glen Applegate.
I know. Would that not be right? And a washer and dryer? Would that not be perfect? Yeah. Right? I don't know how we do it.
Float with the wash hung out and the
washer and dryer. I don't know if it would be safe for your starts and your stops, because in parades, because when I bring the old Volkswagen bus, that was the thing about the parades. When you put a Volkswagen bus, a 73 Volkswagen bus in a parade, it doesn't like that stopping and starting.
No.
And I just want to say, I can't stop it, and I'll be the first to say, and maybe there's others that can drive a lot better than I can, but I cannot stop on a dime.
Hey, you drove NASCAR and you impressed them. So
well, but that's a little different than a Volkswagen bus. They have a mind of their own. Let me just tell you, you have to give respect.
When we drove to Florida, you impressed me, and you kind of scared me a little. So
that's why you have the bar on this side there. Yeah, hold on, bar.
I'll tell you after the show what I call that.
All right. Speaking of 4th of July, they are coming out with so many chips. Yesterday, I went to buy just a regular potato chip. Not only, it's hard to find just a regular plain potato chip because they've got so many different potato chips now. They have potato chips that they are like Funyuns, which we love a good Funyun, but they're actually potato chips. So they've got the Funyun potato chips. They've got the sour cream, of course, we know that. They also have.
So they would have the onion flavor.
It would just be like a Funyun, but it's a chip.
Okay.
They have.
But the fun of the Funyun
is the round. Yeah, they're not like that.
Kind of a crunchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, you'd have the crunch of the chip, I guess.
Yeah. So no, it's different, but it's actually got the Funyuns on the bag. You'll see it, but it's actually a chip. Then you have. Hold on. Then you have. I'm amazed at all of it. I did not know. I've not been in the chip aisle for a while. How many different chips there are? And then they have pickled chips. Yeah. And they taste like a dill pickle. Now that was a fan favorite. Our fam loves that. Okay. Then they also have barbecue, and they don't just have barbecue. You have all different kinds of barbecue. Sweet and tangy. Is it mesquite? I mean, am I saying the right mesquite? Is it? I know
that's
everything
actually
there
a regular word. That's not a redneck word.
It sounds. I don't think I don't think that's usually in my vocabulary. Mosquito. There has to be some redneck there. I don't know. But anyway, so if you are planning your family get together and you go in that chip aisle, you're going to be there for a while. And then, of course,
And you get your.
And here was the thing that, let me tell you the degree of difficulties I had. Okay. My request was for Cheetos. Okay. Not cheese puffs, not, it was Cheetos. I couldn't find Cheetos in a regular, like in the other size bag, in a bigger size bag. I don't know I don't know if there's like, I don't know why it was hard to find. I couldn't find them. They didn't have them. They had the cheese puffs, not to be confused with the Cheetos. A little different.
Which is like
the
corn chips. You have chili.
No, that's
you want the
that's the Fritos.
You want the crunchy. You want the crunchy.
Don't mix your
Cheetos.
Fritos and
you
your
want the
Cheetos.
Crunchy
the ones that are like they're thinner.
Crunchy.
They're thinner, yeah, and they're
Yeah, you don't want the puffed.
Yeah, that was what that's what the fam was requesting.
Yeah, the crunchy.
Yes, they didn't want they didn't want the puffy ones, and they didn't want, and they did. There was some that did want the Fritos. Fritos are different than the Cheetos. Don't get them confused. So if you're on the phone and someone's giving you direction, make sure you hear the free or the chi. Okay, pay attention because you can get confused. And then on Doritos themselves, you have all different kinds of Doritos now too. So anyway, yeah, I just want to say it's I was wore out by the chip aisle. Trying to get what everybody likes. Okay. So I had 6 bags later in my hands. I think I had everybody covered. Yeah. But then I still had one that said, you didn't get mine.
Well, you know what?
And that was the Cheeto pack. Because there wasn't any Cheetos.
That's what variety packs are for. Baby.
All right. Yes. Now that's exactly right. Go get the variety pack. All right. What's the best potato chip you can buy for the 4th of July party? Okay. That's what my segue. The whole what I was telling was a segue.
What would yours be?
Oh. Let's see.
Mine would be Ruffles.
I know you like
a generic of Ruffles.
You
Ruffles
like a good. You like the ridges. You like the Ruffle ridges. I knew that. I knew that. Yeah.
Well, they're stiff enough if you were tip for that dip of sour cream and chive dip.
Don't tempt you with a good time over there. I would have to say, I like. This is funny. Well, of course, I do love a good. I love a good Funyun, but I don't eat them because in the public because it's so. I mean, afterwards, the breath is just a lot. Okay. But I'm not discouraging anyone and I'm not knocking it. But I would have to say for me, I like a good Dorito. Just a simple, good Dorito. Right. Oh, and then, but of course, my favorite, and I get hooked on these, is the Cheeto. Because remember how, and I had to use a fork.
I like those.
Remember how I started eating those all the time and I couldn't go to meetings with yellow fingers. So I had to use a fork.
It was fun on Toy Story 2. It was so they had attention to detail because Big Al was eating the cheese puffs and he had the orange on his fingers in his mouth.
They don't miss it. They really do attention to detail. You're right. All right, so let's get back. A poll this week found chips are the second most popular 4th of July side after potato salad.
There we go.
And if you're not sure,
is it too much starch?
What to go? Is there? I mean, there's no calories on the 4th of July. There's no starch, right? If you're not sure what brand to go with, here's what your neighbors are saying. I love to know what the neighbors are saying. Okay, Instacart released some data on some uniquely popular potato chips on from each state. So the one brand that's especially beloved, okay? So the most of the country is a fan of Ruffles. There you go. So right there. Did you not just whoop whoop? That's you completely. Including almost all of the Rocky Mountain states and much of the Midwest. That would be right here with us. Look at you, Indiana, hometown boy.
Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Illinois, and Mississippi. Texas is a Ruffle state. Most of the West, except for California, they're Kettle brand, and Washington and Oregon. Ruffles in Alaska, so we'll be.
All right. Lays are also big, but it's a different story on the coast. The entire West Coast loves Kettle brand chips, and the East Coast are various from Florida, from Boulder Canyon, and Georgia love Zaps. What's Zaps? Is that the hot, those little hot like stick things? Zaps,
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Yats or Zaps? Zapps. Is that Zaps?
Oh, it's a brand.
What? I mean, like, what kind of chips do they have? I don't know.
They have Voodoo pretzel sticks. They have New Orleans Voodoo potato chips.
Okay,
They
I
have
have seen those before. Yeah, I didn't know the brand though.
kettle style chips. They have
All right. Okay. What about Utes? UTZ. Utes.
Utes.
UTZ.
That's another word of the day.
Utes.
Utes.
Utes got to go down there.
There, I was trying to go
Utes
to bed
didn't
last
get it.
night, but the Utes down the street was making too much
No,
noise.
hang on. Utes told me you were going to do this. You Utes
I think
said,
it's Uts.
"Oh, you. I like Utes." Don't bust my bubble over here. I'm having too much fun. Well, I've never heard of this. They're a top pick for South Carolina, which I have been to South Carolina and Delaware. Why? What kind of chips are they? Look 'em
They're
up.
just
Regular chips.
there's ripples.
We don't have
which
them
are-
around here, do we?
Yes.
Do we?
Yeah.
I need to pay more attention.
They
I
have
gotta get
barbecue. They
that.
have different kinds.
I've got to get to that chip aisle. No. Think if
I
I was like
wanted to. I wanted to try to imitate the guy from Princess Bride. Inconceivable.
marriage.
That's a
We're
different
here.
one. The bald-headed guy.
I know. Yeah. I think.
Wallet. We saw it. He was down in Florida.
Yeah.
a couple
He
years
was pretty
ago.
cool.
Yeah.
I think the thing
They have
about
Red Hot. They have Ripples. They have Bayou Blackened Ranch.
I'm
No
gonna have
salt.
to.
No salt. Excuse me. Crab flavored
We need to spend more. Oh, now
lemonade.
I'd like to try that
Lemonade. I
crab.
don't know about lemonade.
I don't know, but the crab. I mean,
Mike's Hot Honey, Carolina style barbecue,
I'd
dill
go for all
pickle,
that.
salt
Okay.
and vinegar. I like a good salt and vinegar. Um, Big cheesy onion and garlic, southern sweet heat barbecue, honey barbecue ripples. Again, sour cream and onion.
So all of
Hell
New
of a
England.
hell of a good. The dip, wavy chips. Now wavy and ruffles are a little wavy's a little more
Yeah,
than
it's a little isn't it deeper, like a little
a
deeper.
little
They're
wider.
indentions or
Little-
whatever. Yeah. So all of the New England loves Cape Cod chips. 3 states obsessed with the Pringles are Ohio, Alabama, and Missouri.
Cape Cod chips.
They can't stop eating them. It says.
They're
I don't think you
like
can.
they're like the more natural. It looks like kettle chips.
Which one are the?
Cape Cod. And I
Oh,
want to just take a moment to
I don't know
about
Cape Cod.
Pringles. Pringles. When you buy a can of Pringles and the Pringles don't start until 4 inches
Yeah.
into the can, something's wrong. Give us our full can of Pringles.
I didn't know when or how, but I knew this would be talked about. This is very upsetting, isn't it, to you?
You're gonna. I'm surprised somebody's not sued them for cutting their.
You're paying
hand,
for
trying
air.
to reach down in there. And
You're-
get the Pringles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, you're supposed to tip up the can and let them.
The number one thing that you're doing for the 4th of July is nothing. Okay.
It's a holiday about nothing.
Got any plans for the 4th of July?
Yes.
Does nothing count? A new poll asked people what they'll be doing for the weekend. The number one thing they're looking forward to doing is nothing. 43% of Americans say their plans include staying home and kicking back. It's the most common thing that we've got planned this weekend. There are actually new facts. Okay, hang on. There's actual things that we're doing for Independence Day. 35% will spend time with family or go to a family get together. 33% will go to a barbecue or picnic this weekend. 16% will go to a fireworks display. 10% plan to set off fireworks themselves.
No.
Be careful. 10% will go to a 4th of July event like a parade. 11% will watch some sports. Well, actually, you got the 3-on-3 basketball
Yes.
tournament you go watch.
Yep.
5% will.
That's good. They're signing up right now. So get in there.
Yeah. 5% will go to the beach, which we just talked about Jaws yesterday. 4% will go camping or hiking. 2% will go fishing. 10% none of the above, literally no plans. So, you know what? I think you have to kind of do what I think anything goes anymore, But I think that if you choose to sit back and stay home and do little, good for you, Nothing wrong with that. No judging.
Plan on getting some work done.
But I think the thing,
But also we'll be doing some of these other things.
oh, we're going to be hitting it. Yeah. But I think the thing is because I think with the activities that are going, you only get the 4th of July once a year.
Yep.
So like the 3rd and the 4th and all of the peak and celebration, this will be over. You know what I mean? So this is the time to get out and enjoy it, and you'll see people, and that's a cool thing. There'll be people that will come home for the 4th of July celebration in Pekin that you've not seen in years. So that's cool. And people will be traveling from out of town, which brings up a good point. Let's be kind. Let's show who's your hospitality, and to these, because people will travel like for current events, to come to the oldest consecutive 4th of July celebration in the nation.
Yep. And it is
195th.
195.
195. Yeah.
And then next year, the nation as a whole will be 200. So they've only missed 5 years.
That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
All time. But then other cities and towns have not done that much. So.
Well, don't you think that probably those first 5 years that we're planning it?
Probably.
We've got to plan something. We got to do something, and so then
Probably so.
Took them 5 years, and then okay, we got to. Well, but we've talked about this on Coffee Club, and I don't mean to keep going back over. I'm going to circle the wagon quickly here, but you go back 195 years, and you think about, they either traveled by horse or train, and you talk about, they would come to Pekin. How the Pekin 4th of July, if you go back and you see the history, they would come and they would have a huge picnic. And we talked about, and I'm not trying to stereotype, but those women had to get up at 4 in the morning, 3 or 4 in the morning, and cook that chicken, because they probably didn't cook it the night before. Fix that chicken, put all of the food in the wagon, get the blankets, get everything, all of the food, the potato salad, whatever they're bringing, and then load up the kids. And, if you have several children, by the time you get everybody loaded, of course there's usually some complaining. And then usually you have that one that can't find their shoes. I mean, this is just normal. So 195 years ago, they still had.
You think problems. That went on back then?
You don't think yeah. So just go without your shoes. You're going to go barefooting today. Okay. So anyway, so then coming on that way, and and hooking up, then the men are out there hooking up the wagon, getting ready, and you have that one horse that's not cooperating, I'm sure, the one that's a little spirited. You get everybody loaded, and then off to Pekin you go. And then you get there and you fold out your blanket, your quilt, which we said probably if it was me, I would make a beautiful quilt to make sure that my quilt was very pretty, that my family was eating on, that's going to get many spills on. But, right? Would that not be a little competitive? You want a beautiful quilt.
Yep.
So you lay out that beautiful quilt, you wrangle the children, and you eat your fried chicken or your chicken, right?
Yeah, they
didn't potato salad.
They didn't have chicken fingers.
And then you have to tell the one child that, you're not eating thing all because they want to play all the time. And then there's all kinds of activities and play and stuff. So you go roll back 195 years ago. I just took you back in time.
Yep.
That was a time capsule right there of things. And you think about the effort and the work and the prepping for this and how valuable this was.
Oh, yeah.
We should cherish that.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I think it's pretty awesome personally.
1830.
Yeah. And all of the hurdles.
That's before the Civil War.
Well, and you think about the hurdles that they had to go over and go through to get there, but it meant something to them. It meant something, which I think today it should mean something. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
So I just think it's pretty cool. And I love that they've kept it up, keep going. And I love it. All right. Also, it looks like, let's see, 4th of July roundup. This is kind of the 4th of July. 7 people were reported missing after a huge
Oh,
explosion
yeah.
at a fireworks house in California Tuesday night. Several cities had to cancel or postpone their 4th of July displays because their fireworks
It looks like
were
it
stored
blew
in
the
there.
walls out.
If you haven't seen it, the footage, oh my goodness. That'd be scary. And, having all that explosives in one
A lot
location.
of gunpowder.
Yeah. Yeah. And we learned last year, straight shooters, they're the ones that do the fireworks for
Mhm.
the peak and
Mhm.
forth. And if you remember last year, we had all that rain, but they already had the fireworks locked and loaded. And when you have the fireworks locked and loaded, I'm not a firework expert, but the way they explained was once you have them locked and loaded, they have to go off. So there was a little bit of a break in the rain, remember? And they let off the fireworks, and it was beautiful. It was another beautiful fireworks.
And a bunch of fireworks too.
Yeah. So it looks like a record of 72.2 million people are expected to travel at least 50 miles from home this weekend. AAA said the worst time to be on the road today is between 2 and 6 p.m., but Wednesday was the worst day to travel. So people are already where they're going to be. It looks like most people are already settled in or somewhere where they're going to be. Burgers top the new list of poll of the favorite foods to grill. Our top burgers, steaks, and hot dogs. Now, see, I thought hot dogs. Would you have thought hot dogs?
Yep.
I mean, that's USA.
Yep. USA hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
That sounds like a commercial. Uh, I'm thinking hot dogs, though, right? I am
Mhm.
surprised
We had some apple pie.
we did,
That was and that was homemade apple pie.
because
Boy, that's the difference.
that's Brad's people,
That
yeah,
was the difference.
yeah, and yeah,
Whoever it was put a little
the
kiss
crust.
of sugar on top.
Well,
Just
yeah,
sprinkled a little, just a tiny
they
little pinch
do
of sugar.
that. You know that. But anyway, so actually, burgers are the number one. So, all right. Meanwhile, a study found there's no safe amount of processed meat. A hot dog on the 4th of July probably won't kill you unless you choke on it. Even eating small amounts of processed meat or regular basis can cause health issues.
I tell you, if we could get a couple of foot-long coney dogs.
Don't even tempt me with a good time. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I love a good hot dog. And oh, especially okay, just the other night we had at Brad's we had the hot dogs and they were cooked to perfection. That was a chef kiss on those hot dogs. Yeah. That was just yeah. Okay, USA Today did a video on how to keep pets safe and calm on the 4th. For anxious dogs and cats, it's the worst day of the year. So I think they've kind of got
Heard
where
that.
they have the vest for dogs you can put on your pet for a calming vest. So I think that it's kind of people are being a little more preventative of that. Also, a station in Houston did a story on how spaghetti can also keep your pet calm. A veterinarian said getting them used to popping sounds can help. And if they're really touchy about it, you can start by snapping a bunch of dry spaghetti to simulate sudden pops. Then work your way up to bubble wrap. I just want to say, and I'm not, this is nothing, our dogs do not care. Either because and here's why. This is my thought on this. Because our house is so loud and when you bring everybody to our house, we have so much energy. I don't think our dogs care. I don't think that that's anything that's going to but I do know and we do know dogs that do care and I do feel sorry for them and I feel sorry for the owners too. Yeah. Okay. All right, 4th of July safety tips. When you factor in fireworks, pools, and car crashes and grilling mishaps, it's one of the most dangerous days of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So have fun, but be careful out
Don't
there.
lose a finger.
Right, do not lose a finger. All right, and we got to get out of here, but we'll remind everybody, we just talked with Dan Farmer, who is part of the Juice Box Heroes, which we're a huge fan of, and they're going to be performing tonight at 7 p.m. at Beacon Park, and it's free. It's a free concert in the park, and beautiful park.
And they're gluttons for punishment because they'll be in court tomorrow night. to back to back for the popcorn festival.
Boldly go into the night, right? Why not, right?
Yep.
They're on a roll. They're on a roll.
They are.
You know, he said he actually sells toilet paper, so he's on a roll. He really is on a roll. Anyway, it's going to be a fun night tonight. It's free. It's and they've worked hard. Pekin, I want to say the Betterment, Pekin Fourth, Taylor Humphrey, and all of the. I don't want to leave anybody out. The whole crew, they've worked hard to put on a beautiful event for us. Now, what we need to do is come and participate and be a part of that beautiful event. Show up, and let's show them how much we appreciate all the hard work. It's going to be a lot of fun, something for everyone, and a great time. And it's free there in the park. Free.
The weather is going to be nice today, tomorrow, and through the weekend. And sadly, next week there's about a 50% chance of rain every day, I think, except for Tuesday. So get your outdoor work done while you can and enjoy the weekend. The Reds actually played, speaking of people that are exhausted, the Reds played a doubleheader yesterday. They lost the first game and won the second game last night 8-4. They're off today, and they play the Phillies tomorrow and start a little series with them up in Philadelphia. They'll be celebrating the nation's birthday right there where it happened.
Love that. Love that.
Let's see what else. Oh, they are in fourth place out of 5. The Brewers are in second place with 3 games away from the Cubs. The Cardinals dropped a game last night, and they are 5 spots back from first place, and the Reds are 6.5 games out. So there's still not a big difference there, but they need to make some of those games up.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. I want to wish everyone, don't forget, we'll be broadcasting live tomorrow at 10 a.m., Brad and I, from the Pekin right there, and we will have a great time. I look forward to seeing the parade. But tonight we'll see you in Pekin for all kinds of celebration and a lot of fun going on. So let's thank our sponsors.
Yes. Temple & Temple, Schneck Hospital, the Louisville Bats. Oh, the Louisville Bats, they're having a big fireworks tonight. So get your tickets for the game tonight and stay around for but if you're going to Pekin,
you can do both.
Yeah, maybe do both. You might be able to see them from, I know sometimes you can see thunder from parts of the area here. Anyway, First Harrison Bank, McAllister Land Consulting, Marshall Monuments, go see Corey, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, and Dr. Mindigan, Fox Pearly Wealth Management, Mama Rosa's, Americans for Prosperity, Salem Crossing, Walmart, and they're doing Children's Miracle Network
till Saturday. Yeah, so
you
round
can get
up
some popcorn, round up your purchase. There's snow cones, and I think they're selling the ducks over there too.
Absolutely. Fun time.
So,
definitely.
Anyway, and then Meadowview Healthcare.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Let's have the best. Actually, Thursday. It's Thursday. What day is this? Best Thursday ever.